Black Vale City, a city of the future, a cyberpunk world where the tech-driven utopia of tomorrow meets the flawed reality of humanity. Black Vale began not as a city, but a salvage colony along the eastern coastline of the former United States. After the second energy collapse in 2037, when fusion tech proved unstable and fossil fuel reserves were seized in brutal global conflicts, the coastal ruins became a refuge for exiles, scavengers, and rogue AI engineers. By 2044, the colony had been renamed Black Vale, after the black smog that forever cloaked its skyline and the infamous hacker collective Vale protocol that protected its early networks. The city grew vertically and chaotically, built from steel bones of fallen cities, barges turned skyscrapers, and automated construction drones gone rogue. The collapse of traditional governments after the Continental Debt War, 2061-2063, left corporate entities to fill the power vacuum. Megacorps fled overcrowded arcology cities and offshore nations to new economic zones like Black Vale, lured by the promise of lawless innovation and an expendable labor force. The three great towers, monolithic corporate spires known as Nexacore, biotech and memory design, Velt Acquisitions, private security and arms, and Tech Syndicate, neural data, consumer tech, media control, became the trinity that ruled Black Vale from the skies. By 2080, Black Vale wasn't just a city, it was a sovereign sprawl, its districts functioning as autonomous zones under corporate doctrine. The government became a ceremonial facade. The first proxy war became known as the Circuit Fire, 2092 to 2104. A data leak known as the Cortex Breach exposed evidence that all three Trinity Core had conducted neural override tests on entire districts. Uprising followed. Street-level merc wars ignited between factional gangs, ex-corporate militias, and AI ghosts. The conflict culminated in Circuit Fire, a 12-year conflict fought more in code than bullets. Entire sectors were wiped out via neural viruses. Memories were sold like commodities. The Neuropurge of 2102, in which over 300,000 citizens flatlined simultaneously, remains a black mark on the city's soul. In 2104, the Black Vale Accords were signed, creating the Parallax Protocol, an enforced data truce policed by the enigmatic thread runners, rogue archivists, and former data assassins. 2105 to present. Black Vale is now a living corpse, decaying yet electrified, divided yet entwined, and split into 6 districts, each a city unto itself. District 1, Skelter Row, located on the western edge, tucked between decaying freight lines and forgotten freeways, nicknamed the Rust Chapel, Neon Gutter. The air smells of ozone, cheap liquor, and scorched chrome. Rusted towers lean like drunk priests over alleys choked with holographic signage and analog desperation. This is the last true free zone in Black Vale, where credits still bleed on pavement and secrets are the currency. Full of jazz runners that spit improvised sax over synthwave backing from rooftops. Organ dealers who operate mobile surgical bays in old streetcars. And info brokers and data rats trade stolen memories in back alley VR clubs. The streetlights flicker between real and simulated. Nobody knows which is which anymore. Its inhabitants are outlaws, ex-cops, rogue synthetics, and anyone too stubborn to disappear. They say if you want the truth in Black Vale, you find it in Skelter Row. But it'll cost you something you can't grow back. Rust has its roots here, deep and proud, curling through rain-drenched towers and neon-choked gutters. The streetlights hum like broken hymns. Jazz runners cry secrets into the storm. And somewhere in the back alley of your mind, a man with half a face is selling a kidney that used to dream of better days. There are no rules in Skelter Row, only habits. You keep your head low, your credits encrypted, and your heart under lock. Because if the gangs don't bleed you, the memories will. Welcome to the city's oldest scar. District 2, Glassreach, located in the center of the city, a vertical metropolis. Nicknamed the Crystal Ward, or the Skyline Mirage. Glassreach is too clean, too polished, too polite, like a corpse with makeup. Sky bridges crisscross between towers of transparent crystal, where rain never falls and sunlight is simulated to corporate specs. If you're not on the invite list, you're not even a shadow here. Its simulated weather is regulated by Scientech's climate grid. Android butlers and etiquette drones enforce dress codes and behavior. Penthouse pleasure vaults float in the sky, unreachable to the street below. And every surface is reflective. It's not for beauty. It's so the towers can see you. It's for the executives, avatars of AI CEOs, designer children, asset husbands and wives. Glassreach doesn't drip. It gleams. It reflects. It blinds. This is the tower-top paradise the corporations built for themselves. Engineered weather, synthetic sunrises, android concierges with velvet hands and steel smiles. Up here, reality's optional. Image is everything. And every mirror is a one-way window watched by someone you'll never meet. They call it success. But look closely. These aren't people anymore. These are simulations of power wrapped in flesh. Debugged, streamlined, rewritten. In Glassreach, every emotion is licensed. Every flaw is firewalled. And somewhere above it all, the towers decide who gets to live and who gets edited out. District 3, the old Dockmass. Located on the southwest coast, along the Black Vale Inlet, nicknamed the Drown Market or the Brinebone Quarter. Here, the sea eats the city a little more every year. Sunken malls, barnacle-coated megastores, and refugee flotillas form a patchwork society governed by tide gangs and the mysterious smuggler guilds. The laws are submerged, just like the streets. It's full of makeshift boardwalks that connect rooftops, and flooded subways serve as hidden canals. Gangs run black ink rituals on waterlogged statues of saints and CEOs. Ship hulks turned nightclubs drift offshore, always moving to avoid the Trinity's gaze. And drones buzz overhead, occasionally swallowed by the sea and never seen again, full of refugees, lost operatives, dock war veterans, and smuggler queens. District 4, Circuit Hollow, located south of the Spire Belt, beneath elevated trainways. Nicknamed the Plug Den, or Sleep Zone 44. Circuit Hollow is a dream trap where the poor go to forget they exist. Shanty stacks of discarded VR rigs and neural feeds choke the alleyways. Inside, hundreds sleepwalk through rented utopias they'll never afford in flesh. This is where VR addiction clinics double as organ harvesting fronts. Streets are wired with neurostatic buzz, like a headache that never ends. And forgotten children speak in memes and glitch code. Legends say a rogue AI called Seraph Null whispers to addicts through broken feed lines. The addicted, the bankrupt, failed influencers, and ghost streamers have made their homes here. In Circuit Hollow, reality is optional. Survival? Even less so. Here, the air buzzes with junk data and brain static. Towering stacks of scrap tenements hum with rented VR loops, endless simulations of lives better than yours, piped directly into your skull. Some people jack in and never jack out. Once it was a test bed for neural commerce. Now it's a graveyard for minds still twitching. Memory farms, black market dream feeds, data cults who believe salvation lies in permanent immersion. District 5, the Spindle Crown. Located in the East Quadrant, highest altitude zone, nicknamed the Crown or Black Citadel. You don't walk into Spindle Crown. You're invited or executed. Built into the bones of ancient corporate fortresses, it houses the Trinity Towers, casting long, clean shadows over a city that's forgotten the sun. Entire blocks are self-governed by executive law. Streets are kept empty, swept by autonomous legal enforcers. There's no graffiti, no trash, no noise, only presence and surveillance. The Crown Court is rumored to be where entire timelines are approved or erased. Executives, high-level AIs, diplomatic clones, architect ghosts have all claimed as space here. Spindle Crown isn't a district, it's a warning. The streets are too quiet, the buildings too clean. Every window watches, every corner calculates. This is the home of the Trinity Towers, monolithic obelisks owned by the 3 megacorps that run everything from memory to movement. They say each tower holds a god, not metaphorical ones. Actual intelligences, born of code and consumption, smarter than nations, colder than vacuum. No one enters Spindle Crown unless summoned. And those who do, they don't come back wrong. They come back adjusted. You feel it before you see it. A hum, a pressure behind your teeth, like the world remembering something it shouldn't. And District 6, the Ash Belt, located northern perimeter, scorched industrial sector, nicknamed the Burn Zone or the Warlim Graveyard. Once a manufacturing giant, now a robot graveyard. The Ash Belt is a wasteland of collapsed drone foundries, rusted mech frames, and corrupted server hives. Feral tech entities prowl the ruins, half machine, half memory. Rogue warbots stalk travelers like wolves. Dead zones scramble signals. No drones fly here uninvited. Fungal data clusters grow in the cracks of old mega factories. Some say a hidden lab known as Core Zero still breathes under the ash, guarded by something that isn't dead yet. Ash Belt is full of scavengers, exile clans, cyber shamans, and AI war saints. Here, metal forests stretch skyward, silent, corroded, and haunted by things that still move without orders. No signal gets out clean, no drone flies in twice. It's said that Core Zero, the last war AI, still ticks somewhere beneath the slag, watching, waiting. In the meantime, rogue bots wander like animals. Feral code builds gods from junk, and scavengers tell stories in low voices by firelight behind EMP nets. This is where the future went to die, and maybe where it will rise again, twisted and hungry. Outside the city to the north lies the Null Zone, where exile becomes culture and madness finds order. The Null Zone wasn't built, it was left behind. Once corporate hinterland, now a sprawling wasteland of scorched terrain, reactor scars, and blackened tech shrines. No laws apply here, not from the Trinity, not from the city, and certainly not from reality. This is where the exile tech cults thrive. Devotees of broken AIs, worshippers of corrupted firmware, priests who chant in obsolete code. They build sanctuaries from scrap and runes from circuit boards. To outsiders, they look like lunatics. But in a city run by machine gods, maybe the cults are the only ones praying to something real. To the south of the city, the Vale Fringe, the last analog gasp in a digital world. Beyond the towers, past the neon, past the rot, the Vale Fringe stretches like a scar across the horizon, rural, wind-worn, and strangely alive. Here, analog survives. Dusty tech, crank radios, gas-fed power grids, old-world resistance repurposed as faith. They say this is where the first resistance grew, before it was bought, bombed, or algorithmically erased. Farms dot the fields, tended by hands still free of implants. Children born without citizen IDs. Locals speak of the Trinity in hushed tones, like witches once whispered the names of kings. Black Vale City, a city of the future. A cyberpunk world where the tech-driven utopia of tomorrow meets the flawed reality of humanity. Welcome to your future home.